This killing was no accident. This was a terrorist attack motivated by hatred in the heart of one of our communities.
The killing of 4 members of a Muslim family while they were out for a Sunday stroll in London, Ontario, was horrific. It was even more tragic because their 9-year-old son, who was injured, is now an orphan. The fact that they were Muslim raises the possibility that racism was involved. But was it terrorism? Terrorism is a different thing. Terrorism is defined as the use of violence and intimidation, especially aimed at civilians, for the purposes of fulfilling a political agenda. On that basis, we don't know what the motive was here. Could have been terrorism. It could have been a mentally unstable individual in an isolated act of violence. Distinction is important. The police say they're investigating whether this was an act of terrorism. But Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, has already said it is an act of terrorism. And his Public Safety Minister, Bill Blair, has said the same thing. And they've said it a number of times. And that's unusual, because normally politicians do not comment on a criminal case, and particularly at the beginning, and particularly as to motive. And the reason they say they don't do that is they don't want to interfere in the criminal investigation. In 2013, when he was Liberal leader, Justin Trudeau was asked at the beginning whether the Boston Marathon bombings were committed by a terrorist or terrorists. And he said he didn't know. He said it could have been terrorism. He also said it could have been, and these are his words, a single crazy who felt isolated from society.
Now, we don't know now whether it was terrorism or a single crazy or a domestic issue or a foreign issue. I mean, all those questions.
Well, we know from court documents that in the London case, the individual accused was at some point having severe mental problems and anger management problems and taking medication. The issue isn't whether this was a horrible event or a horrible crime. That's beyond debate. Of course it was. But in democracies, politicians should not convict people accused of crimes, particularly the crime of terrorism, before there's been any charge laid, and months, if not years, before the case will ever go to trial. I'm Laurie Goldstein of Sun Media. We're always interested in hearing your views, and please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel.